Hello everyone! Welcome to my 5th annual Halloween playthrough! And since I am celebrating my first Halloween as a full-time pig, I have decided to let's play the one and only game starring the one and only Porky Pig. That was not Porky Pig. There he is! Anyway, I kind of already streamed this game for Halloween at Twitch back in 2020, but that was a last-minute decision. I did not have much preparation time. The playthrough was just okay, but I think I can do better. More importantly, I have learned that a beta version of the game dumped online, and that is what I will be playing for y'all today. Now, the beta version is nearly identical to the final game, with one key difference. The beta version has different music. As you heard on the title screen just a moment ago, it plays the classic Merrily We Roll Along. Whereas in the final version, they replaced the song with a more generic cartoony song. Not really sure why. Maybe the developers couldn't grab the rights to the song. Bit of a shame, because, as I said, this is a classic. Anyway, during the adventure, I will be giving my thoughts on the beta soundtrack compared to the final soundtrack, and I will be linking to each song in the description so you can listen for yourself if you are curious. Now, if the links go down, by the way, let me know because I will be linking to someone else's videos. No reason for me to upload the songs when they are already on YouTube. Anyway, here in the options menu, we have options, and the options that I really want to focus on real quick are the skill levels, the difficulty modes. Now pay attention because this is kind of important. So on easy mode, you start with 9 extra lives, there are no enemies that shoot projectiles, and you have unlimited continues that continue you at the last checkpoint. On normal difficulty, you start with 5 lives, there are a bunch of enemies that shoot projectiles, but not too many, and you also have an unlimited amount of continues that continue at the last checkpoint. And then there's hard mode. Hard mode lives up to its name. I mean, you still start with 5 lives, but each life starts you with damage already taken. There's also a lot of enemies that shoot projectiles, especially in level 5. Oi! And there are no continues. And by the way, this game does not save your progress. You have to beat the entire thing in one sitting. Granted, it is a short game, but still. Now, as a Let's Player, I feel like there is some sort of obligation to play on the hardest difficulty, because supposedly anything less will be boring to watch. However, I have learned that it's better to, actually enjoy the game that I am playing, and I don't feel like torturing myself for your entertainment. And besides, there is no reward for beating this game on the hardest difficulty, so I'm gonna play on normal mode. With that said, let's go ahead and start this adventure. As Porky Pig is looking through holiday brochures to plan his upcoming vacation, he drifts off to sleep and finds himself in a haunted holiday nightmare. Well, that was foreboding. For the record, the final game does not have that evil laughter. Anyway, welcome to level 1. And, oh boy, there is a lot to unpack just here on the first screen. First off, over here we have a two-headed vulture, inspired by Agatha and Emily Vulture, from the Bugs Bunny cartoon, Transylvania 6-5000. In which Bugs meets a vampire named Count Bloodcount. Second thing to mention is that this game has slopes that you can slide down. For some reason, this counts as a slope. Whee! Most importantly, the beta version is unique in that here at Porky's house, it plays music that is different from the rest of Level 1. In the final release, Porky's house plays the same music as the rest of Level 1. So that's kind of interesting. And of course, that meaning we proceed forward, and we hear the music for Level 1. Oh, and by the way, I should clarify that Porky's house actually has 2 exclusive songs in the beta version. This is thanks to a unique feature that this game has, that being randomized weather. Level 1 especially plays this up. You see, when you start up the level, it will choose a random season and also randomly decide if it's rainy or foggy or snowy. And in fact, just to demonstrate this, I'm going to go ahead and reset the game and roll for a different season. Merry Christmas! Eat your heart out, Jack Skellington! So, now we've got the other exclusive song that plays at Porky's house. It only plays during the Christmas season. Also, it totally makes sense for this patch of path to be slippery now. You know, it's a good thing that Porky is a cartoon character, not as likely to break any bones whenever he slips and falls. Now then, let's go ahead and begin the adventure proper. And as we begin here, well, first off, random weather, it is now foggy. Also, the reason why I wanted to have the Christmas season is so that we would have Christmas lights, because I really like lights. Now then, we got some more characters from various cartoons of Looney Tunes. For example, here we have a leprechaun, or rather a pair of leprechauns, from the Porky Pig cartoon, The Wearing of the Grin. In that cartoon, there's a pair of leprechauns pretending to be a regular Irish man who forced Porky to wear a pair of cursed dancing shoes. I have no idea how I didn't land on that. I guarantee you the hit detection is 99% accurate. There's also bats in the game, because every video game needs bats. These bats are actually based on blood counts, bat form. By the way, his vampire form is nowhere to be... Oops. His vampire form is nowhere to be seen in the game, which is a missed opportunity. He could have totally been one of the bosses. Now then, I said that this was a short game. It's only 6 levels long, and in fact, if you were to play straight through, you could probably beat this game in just an hour. However, I'm going to do some exploration, because half the fun of this game is just exploring around, because there's a bunch of optional paths and secrets hidden throughout the game, leading to 1-ups, and I intend to go looking for those 1-ups. I mean, I don't necessarily need the 1-ups, because the continues are going to be no different than simply losing a life. Very forgiving that way. But I am curious how high of a life counter I can acquire. By the way, weird thing, these spikes, instant death, as you have seen. But the spikes further ahead, not instant death. These spikes here, I did not mean to demonstrate that. Just cause damage. Checkpoint. And getting scared by Daffy, who, for some reason, his evil laugh was coming from the left, despite him being on the right. Oh, by the way, you can move the camera around in this game. very handy. Just hold X and press a direction. Don't forget it. Down here is a power-up. We can now throw ammo. We got fruit to throw. We have unlimited ammo, which is nice. The bad news is that if you lose a life, you lose the ammo. You also cannot throw the ammo while jumping, and you cannot carry the ammo into boss fights. And furthermore, cannot carry the ammo into the next level, so definitely hold on to the ammo as long as you can. As we are seeing, by the way, this game has checkpoints, which is very nice. Thankfully, I am playing badly here. Thankfully, the game is very good about checkpoints. And in fact, even the start of a room counts as a checkpoint. So, you're not likely to lose a lot of progress when you die. As for what I was just doing there, I was trying to back up so that this bat would respawn because I would like to get up to this bonus room up here, which you need the bat to bounce off of. And this bonus room contains a giant freaking spider web. It's a good thing this is only a dream. Not that it matters, because this spider web is clearly occupied by creatures that are most definitely not spiders. I actually had a dream like this once. Not with a giant spider web, but I was in a house just infested with spider webs, and they were occupied. It was actually kind of creepy. You know, I should be talking about the music here. The song that is playing is, of course, not the song that is used in the final version of the game. This song is kind of a loud and bouncy, haunted theme, whereas in the final game, it instead plays more of a quiet, eerie song. And I gotta say, I think the final song is actually the better version, more fitting toward a haunted forest such as this. It kind of has a cold and windy sort of feel to it. Now, coming up here, to the right is forward progression. However, there's some goodies over there that I would like to acquire, and in order to acquire those goodies, I need the power of cupcakes. In certain locations, you will acquire or locate a sequence of 8 flashing cupcakes. Collect them in the correct order, and it will spawn a prize for you, such as that. If you collect them in the wrong order, the cupcake will play a fail sound and you miss your one chance in order to acquire the prize. And they get kind of... Ooh boy. Get away. And I walk into spikes. You wouldn't think that would hurt considering Porky has hooves. But later on, the cupcake sequences are definitely going to be tricky to acquire, so I am absolutely going to be abusing save states later on, just for the sake of showing off the prizes. As for this prize, it is a magic potion that makes Porky float. Apologies to any inflation fans out there. Porky does not become a balloon. But not only does this wind up giving us a couple of extra lives, but it also leads to a secret bonus room. There's plenty of these bonus rooms throughout the game, and I'm going to show all of them. Now, on the subject of the music, It seems to be kind of stuck in a loop right now. Kind of annoying to listen to this over and over for a full level. So in the final version of the game, they repurposed this loop for this next section of the level. We have a rotating tree. This is actually really neat. Whoever programmed this was definitely showing off. But the music that was playing a moment ago, I think is a good fit for this. To clarify, in the final version of the game, they use that loop for this section. And it's a good fit for it because it definitely sounds like the sort of song you would hear while climbing a rotating tree. Whereas this song, I don't know, this song just kind of gives the impression of ghost bees. Thankfully, there are no ghost bees. By the way, be careful about these slopes. These don't look like slopes, they look like steps, but they're slippery. While most slopes in the game, you have to press a button in order to slide down them, slopes like these are automatic, and you kind of have to try to leap your way back up. Certainly ain't easy, especially for this jump here. Oh, and also, your ammo goes around the tree. It's kind of interesting. Also, totally not how physics work, but whatever works. Hey, I got that bat from around the tree. Oh yeah, I should talk about collectibles. So this is a cake. It's just worth points. Meanwhile, the cupcakes, you get 50 of them. Here, let me demonstrate this, in fact. You get 50 cupcakes, and you recover a hit point. If you get 100 cupcakes, you get an extra life. But I don't think the extra life comes with the benefit of the extra hit point, which is kind of weird. And now we're up in the higher portions of the tree. It's kind of dangerous up here. Safe to say, dropping down is definitely instant death. Now, to the right is some basic platforming, leads to a heart, and eventually you'll find another platform where Daffy Duck will scare you onto the upper platforms. And the upper platforms is basically where we want to go, because eventually the lower platforms just lead to a dead end. Although, the lower platforms are actually kind of easier, so it's probably better just to go with the lower platforms. There's no prizes for doing this section. And on occasion, you might see me pausing the game to check over my notes. I have a lot of notes. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop down there first off, but more importantly, here's a checkpoint, and I want to say right down here? There it is. Here's the Daffy platform. Let's get him facing the other direction. And then pause the game on, quite the frame of animation. You think this game was hand-drawn? But that is not why I wanted to pause. I actually wanted to pause to focus on Daffy, who is sporting quite the maniacal look. I think that is based on his maniacal disguise that he uses in the cartoon The Prize Pest, in that Porky Pig acquires a pet, that being Daffy. And Daffy really wants to get his way, or he does this. It kind of antagonizes Porky a bunch. In fact, Daffy does that in a lot of cartoons, so kind of fitting that he's doing it in this game. Anyway, we could continue to the right from here, but as I said, down there is just a dead end. We want to go this way. And there's going to be a secret coming up. A secret that I honestly did not know about until I was warping around in this game's debug menu. Oh, by the way, this game has a debug menu. I will be showing that off in a bonus episode. But the secret up here is really well hidden. It's going to be above this thing. If I could just time this right. Right here. Jump up. Secret room. This is one of the reasons why I decided to replay the game instead of just editing my 2020 playthrough of the game. This, along with the debug menu, I think that'll be interesting to show off. And of course, this being the beta version of the game, thought it would be pretty interesting just listening to the different soundtrack. Oh, and also, my 2020 playthrough, I had the game audio turned down too low. Oops. Oh, worth mentioning, by the way, another difference with the beta version is that there's different sound effects here and there. The final release does not have that shaking noise. Rather, Porky just repeats his gibbering noise for the shaking animation. By the way, it is... how to word this? I am well aware that this is not exactly a popular game, so most people watching are probably not going to be that familiar with the original game's audio. That's definitely the reason why I am going to be linking the old and new soundtracks in the description so that y'all can actually compare with me. And then we have this section. I'm gonna go ahead and save state because this is a section with flashing cupcakes and you only got one shot to get them in the correct order. Just then I missed one, so reload state. I definitely want to show off the reward for collecting these in this playthrough. There are going to be 8 cupcakes every time. So far I'm up to 7. The last one will be further down. Right past here. Wait, no. It's up here. I can get there. I can absolutely... I know for a fact I can do this. I've done it before. And y'all are just going to have to stick to my word for it because I'm apparently not doing it now. So let's try that again, but better. Ideally, I would collect every cupcake along the way, get me closer to getting extra lives. But I will settle for just being able to get the magical cupcakes. There we go. Just had to make that jump. Kinda sneaks up on you. And your reward for getting all 8 cupcakes is 5 1-ups. For as difficult as that is, 5 1-ups seems like an appropriate reward. Alright, who's ready for boss time? Well, this is certainly boss music. Then I am sorry to say that in the final version, it's a different song, but it's not necessarily better. It's basically a haunting jingle that repeats every 5 seconds. Honestly, I'm not sure which version I prefer. Oh, but by the way, this character is Spooky Sid, according to the game. I don't know that this is an actual Looney Tunes character. Although, he does resemble a group of ghosts from Daffy Duck's Quackbusters, which is... let me check here. It's a compilation movie that Porky guest starred in. So, I guess there is some inspiration drawn there. This game doesn't draw a ton of inspiration from Looney Tunes, but there are some little references, which I appreciate. Don't touch those eyes. They will damage you. And that's a different victory theme than the final game. The final version is more of a, that's the end of the show, bonk. Kind of. With the bonk being a haunted note. Anyway, welcome to the world map. This game has a world map. It is interesting that we don't see it until we're starting level 2. So level 2 is called Dry Gulch Town, and level 1, we didn't necessarily get to see the name of on the world map because we didn't get a world map. And not unless we came over in level 1. Although there was a sign at Porky's house that told us the level name, so there's that. Level 1 is called The Haunted Woods. Now, talking about music again, this song. This is one of the few songs that actually survive into the final release, albeit it gets cleaned up and expanded upon in the final release. This is also the song that replaces Merrily We Roll Along on the title screen. Again, a bit of a shame that we couldn't have that classic song. Oh well. I gotta say, by the way, considering that this is Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday, the song actually gives the impression this is more like Porky Pig's Wacky Holiday. And as we will soon find out, that's not inaccurate.